The laser printer steps have been a part of the A+ exam for the last 3 or 4 revisions now, actually for as long as we've had laser printers out there, and of course when we've had the A+ exam also. And the reason you need to know these steps of what's going on inside a laser printer is they're key to being able to troubleshoot what the printing problems are. So let's just step through these. It's a little confusing at first, but just go through this 2 or 3 times and you'll have it. Now there are 6 steps, 6 basic steps in laser printing that you need to know to prepare for this exam, okay? And you can remember them by using this little mnemonic here, okay? Charlie can walk, dance, and talk fast, all right? Charlie can walk, dance, and talk fast. Just learn that and you got it. Charlie stands for cleaning. The C stands for cleaning. The C in can stands for conditioning. The walk stands for writing, that W. The D in dance stands for developing. The T in talk stands for transfer. And the F in fast stands for fusing. So Charlie can walk, dance, and talk fast. All right? That's an easy way to remember those. Now let's take a look at these steps. Notice the first thing that's going to happen is cleaning. Now we're looking inside a laser printer. This is the drum, and you will notice it is turning constantly, okay? The first thing that happens is any toner that was left over from the last printing is removed from the photoelectric drum here with this rubber blade. It's just like a little squeegee, like a windshield wiper, and it just simply wipes the toner off, okay? And then it can also be done electrically or electrostatically, okay? Now the second thing is conditioning. We want to get this drum ready to do the next print job, all right? And so a 600-volt charge gets applied to this drum as it's spinning around. And how does it do that? The primary corona wire, which is very close to the drum, is turned on, and as the drum turns 1 complete revolution, a negative 600-volt charge is applied to this photosensitive drum. All right. Then step 3, we're ready to write the image that we want to print. We're actually going to more or less etch that onto the drum. There is a laser beam in there, and it creates an image that's going to be printed on the drum. Notice it fires onto a mirror that deflects it onto the drum, and it creates the image. Now any area that's touched on this drum are now negative 100 volts. So we have some areas of the drum that are 1 voltage, other areas that are another voltage, and these areas are now more positively charged than the untouched parts of the drum. Remember, the untouched parts of the drum were minus 600. This is now minus 100, so it's 500 volts more positively charged. All right. Then in the 4th step, developing, the developing roller, notice it is right here. It has a negative 600-volt charge just like the drum does. And notice that this thing is connected to the toner hopper, they're calling it here, or the toner cartridge we would call it. And this attracts toner from the toner cartridge because the toner in here is attracted to this negative 600-volt charge, and it begins to stick to it. And then as the drum continues to spin, the negative 100-volt portions of the drum that are more positive than the negative 600-volt portions attract the toner from the developing roller. So this thing is just offering up toner out there very close to this, and as this spins by, the more positive areas cause that toner to jump from there onto those areas. And so what we end up with now is more or less a negative image of the paper, the single page that we need to print. And the drum now has toner only in the negative 100-volt areas. Next, we're going to transfer that image onto paper. The paper is picked up by the rollers out of the paper tray. Notice it's fed right under the drum right here, okay? And it's fed across this secondary corona wire or the transfer wire. And this gives the paper a positive 600-volt charge. So you can see we're just playing little games with making things attract or repel things based on their electrical charge. So the paper is now positive 600 volts, and it passes over the drum and it attracts the toner from the negative 100-volt areas. So we set the toner at negative 600 volts. Then we wrote negative 100 volt areas. That attracted the toner. Now we have an even bigger positive charge in the paper coming by, and the paper attracts the toner onto it. And at this point, our paper now has the image that was on the drum. Okay? Now we need to fuse that to the paper because it's just sitting there. And if you've ever pulled a paper out of a tray and the ink smeared everywhere very easily, it's because it had not been fused. All right? So the fusing rollers melt that toner onto the paper. And the toner is being held against the paper by the positive electric charge. It rolls through these two heated rollers and it melts the toner onto the paper, and the paper comes out and we have a printed page. Those are the main steps to laser printing. And so now you can, by knowing these steps, deduce what's going on if the end users call and say, hey, the paper coming out of my laser printer smears everywhere. Well, something's wrong with their fuser, right? Or the paper's all jamming up. Something's wrong with the feed rollers. All kinds of things could be wrong. This will help you know. So that's the laser printer steps.